Right now, somewhere in your mouth, there is a tooth. And if it started to hurt, really hurt, deep down at the root, you would book an appointment. You would take something for the pain, and within a week, it would be over. You would barely remember it. For almost every human who ever lived, that was not an option. A bad tooth was not an inconvenience. It was a slow, screaming, sleepless nightmare. And sometimes, it was a death sentence. This is the story of what people did about pain before painkillers existed, and it is far stranger and far older than you think. Let's start with a kind of pain everyone here has felt: toothache. A cavity does not just hurt. Left alone, the decay eats through the hard outer enamel and reaches the soft living center of the tooth, where the nerve is. That is the pain that makes grown adults weep. But it gets worse. The infection can spread into the jaw, into the blood, into the brain. For most of human history, an untreated tooth infection could genuinely kill you, and there were no antibiotics to stop it. So humans did something incredible. They fought back with stone tools. In a place called Mehrgarh, in what is now Pakistan, archaeologists found human skulls buried in a Neolithic graveyard. The teeth had tiny, almost perfect holes drilled into them. These people lived between 7,500 and 9,000 years ago. That is the oldest evidence of dentistry on Earth. Someone, 9,000 years ago, took a sharpened flint drill, the same kind they used to make beads, and they drilled into a living person's tooth to dig out the rot. There was no anesthetic, no way to numb the pain. The patient was awake for all of it. And here is the part that stops you cold. It worked. The drilled teeth show signs of healing. People survived. They came back. This was not a one-time experiment. It was a tradition that lasted 1,500 years. But drilling was only half the problem. What about the hole left behind? In a cave in Slovenia, researchers found a 6,500-year-old jawbone. One of the canine teeth had a deep crack running through it, and packed carefully into that crack was beeswax. It is the oldest known dental filling in the world. Someone melted beeswax and pressed it into a cracked, aching tooth to seal the nerve from the air and dull the agony. 6,500 years ago. Think about what this means. Before cities, before writing, before the wheel, humans were already performing dentistry. The desire to stop pain is older than civilization itself. Now, surgery is one thing, but most pain is not something you can drill or fill. So what did people do about the everyday agony, the fevers, the aches, the injuries? They turned to the world around them, and one tree mattered more than any other: the willow tree. 4,000 years ago, the Sumerians, one of the first civilizations on Earth, pressed instructions into clay tablets. Among them were notes about using the willow tree to ease pain. The ancient Egyptians wrote about it too, in a medical scroll called the Ebers Papyrus, around 3,500 years ago. The Greeks used it. Hippocrates himself, the father of medicine, told women to chew willow leaves to ease the pain of childbirth. For thousands of years, across completely separate civilizations, humans independently discovered the same secret. Chew the bark of a willow and your pain fades. They had no idea why it worked. They just knew that it did. It would take until the 1800s for scientists to find the answer. Hidden inside willow bark is a compound called salicin. Once it is in your body, it transforms into something that reduces pain, fever, and swelling. Chemists isolated it, purified it, and refined it, and the medicine they eventually created from that ancient tree is sitting in your bathroom cabinet right now. We call it aspirin. Every time you take an aspirin, you are using a remedy that Stone Age humans were chewing on thousands of years before anyone wrote a single word. But willow could only do so much. For the deepest pain, the pain of surgery, of amputation, of war wounds, humans needed something far more powerful, and they found it: the opium poppy. Ancient people learned that the dried sap of this flower could erase pain completely and drop a person into a deep, dreamless sleep. The Sumerians, again, called it the joy plant. It spread across the ancient world, used by Egyptian, Greek, and Roman healers as the most powerful painkiller known to humanity. For thousands of years, opium was the only thing standing between a patient and unimaginable agony on the surgeon's table. But it came with a terrible price. Too little and the pain stayed. Too much and the patient never woke up. Healers were gambling with every single dose, with no way to measure the line between relief and death. And that was the reality of pain for almost all of human history. Every option was a gamble. Because here is what we forget lying safe in the modern world. For our ancestors, pain was not occasional. It was constant. There was no escape from it. A broken bone was set and endured. A wound was stitched while you screamed. A rotting tooth was pulled out with whatever was at hand. Mothers gave birth with nothing but willow leaves and the hands of other women. And in the long, dark nights, when the pain would not stop, there was nothing to do but wait for morning and hope your body would heal before the infection won. We treat pain today as a problem to be solved, a minor interruption. We have forgotten that for thousands of generations, pain was simply part of being alive, a companion that never left. And yet, look at what those people did. They did not just suffer. They drilled teeth with stone. They filled cracks with wax. They reached across forests for the right bark and across deserts for the right flower. With no microscopes, no chemistry, no understanding of how any of it worked, they fought their pain with everything they had. Every remedy in your medicine cabinet today is built on thousands of years of desperate, patient human trial and error. People who suffered so that they could learn, and who passed that knowledge on so the next generation would suffer a little less. So the next time a headache fades 20 minutes after a pill, or the dentist numbs your jaw before you feel a thing, take a moment, because you are living in the one tiny sliver of human history where pain finally has an off switch. For everyone who came before you, there was only the willow, the poppy, the stone drill, and the long wait for dawn. They felt all of it, so that one day you wouldn't have to.